This is an MBS News Bulletin beginning with breaking news. Amr Khan and Ordem have been demoted from mod at the April GSM due to inactivity. Baron Thames Bank also resigned from admin. We'll bring you more details. A full Dynmap render of the new world is in progress, and staff are not performing world edits at the time. We'll tell you more on that. The northern part of the MRT Jungle line opened with the GSM. We'll take a look at the new line. The plugins being tested on the beta server will be added to the main server within the next month. We'll bring you an update. All that and all the other news from the GSM on Saturday, April 14th. We'll bring you the latest on the ongoing United Cities election. And we'll bring you the latest on the mole, the Olympics, and the Taco Burrito-a-thon on this MBS News Bulletin for Tuesday, April 17th, 2018. Hello, I'm Kitty Cat1231 from MBS News. We begin this bulletin with the breaking news that Amr Khan and Ordem have been demoted from mod. At the GSM in March, Frumple warned that Amr Khan and Ordem would be demoted if they did not return to being active by the April GSM. Amr Khan was last seen online the day after the March GSM, but hasn't been on since, and Ordem has not connected to the server at all in the period between the two GSMs. Amr Khan has been demoted to the rank of Senator and Ordem to the rank of Trustee. Amr Khan was a mod since January 10th, 2015, and Ordem since November 7th, 2015. Also breaking is Baron Thames Bank's resignation from admin. Frumple announced at the GSM that Baron had tendered his resignation in an email due to his inability to remain active on the server. Baron is no longer a staff member and will hold the rank of Senator. He had been an admin since April 3rd, 2016, and before that a mod since January 11th, 2014. The full Dynmap render of the new world announced at the March GSM is currently underway. Due to the size of the new world, it is not fully rendered on Dynmap on a regular basis, but periodic scheduled renders do take place. At the GSM, staff announced the render would start at the server restart at 4 a.m. GMT Monday morning and would last several days. Staff are instructed not to perform world edits during the render due to the lag expected to be caused to the server. Staff are also asking players not to use the Schematica printer function during the render. Regular weekly Dynmap renders of the other worlds are suspended during the render of the new world. The northern part of the MRT Jungle line opened to the GSM. The line runs parallel to the world border in northeastern Epsilon, connecting to the eastern line at 4 stations, including southeastern Verdantium. Cap Blinken and Kel 5 were the only members to formally request stations prior to the opening of the line, which have been granted to them. The rest of the stations are available on a first-come, first-served basis. Frumple stated at the GSM that the Citizens and Discord SRV plugins currently being tested on the beta server will be implemented on the main server in late April or early May. Citizens allows players to create interactable NPCs, and Discord SRV allows communication between Minecraft and Discord. When Citizens is implemented, a limit will be placed on the number of NPCs a player can create based upon rank. Trustees will have up to 5 NPCs, councilors will have up to 10, mayors will have up to 20, senators will have up to 30, governors will have up to 50, premiers will have up to 100, and staff members will have no limit on NPCs. Those are our main stories from the GSM. Now here's some other miscellaneous tidbits from the GSM. A proposal to ban the selling of towns to other members has been rejected. Frumple said the status quo will remain. A new entertainment text channel has been added to Discord for entertainment and pop culture-related discussion. A proposal by Artie to convert A26C107 into a cross station where both the Arctic and Circle lines intersect has been approved. The B54 highway proposal by James from Malison to Pixton has been approved. A B-class highway proposal by Mojang Chan from Deadbush to Totsworth has been approved and will be designated the B60. The B82 highway proposal by Crazy Rocket Guy from Armada to Northwest Epsilon has been approved. Frumple stated the B94 highway proposal by Soso123 does not need staff approval due to its short length. The A4 Highway Phase 2 proposal by Just Rabino from Marvelgate East into Epsilon along the Forest Line has been approved. The A1 Highway Extension proposal by the United Cities Transit Committee from Nipia to Chalksier has been approved, and has been granted approval to pass through the inactive towns between ZN24 and ZN26. The A8 Highway Extension proposal by Elite Neon from Vegeta to the Rank Resort has been rejected. D23 C65 station has been granted to James. D21 station has been granted to Cap Lincoln. ZS16 station has been granted to Minecraft 000. The MRT phone network, previously owned by Ben6331, has been granted to Frosty Creeper 10. SkyWest, the airline previously owned by Frozen, has been granted to Cortese. Yellow Corporation, a transportation company previously owned by Technological 99, has been granted to Burncow, except for the Yare Airlines subsidiary, which was already granted to Woorich 999 at the March GSM. A proposal by Mindbender 15 to move the Arctic Line underground in Radiant Square has been rejected. The Southern Line will continue to be built through Southeast Epsilon by Godsell Train through J-Universe's town, but SE13 station will not be built until J-Universe can confirm the location where the station should be built. And an ownership dispute of F-15P-17 station has resulted in double warnings for 2 players accused of leveling the town at the station without permission. Callum J.K. claimed to have received the town at a GSM auction, but Frumple said there was no record of any transfer in ownership, and as such, the town at F-15P-17 will be available for auction at the next GSM, presumably in May. That's the latest from the GSM. The latest on the United Cities election is coming up next when we get back.
Every time you call on me, I drop what I do. You are my best friend and we've got some things to do.
Welcome back. The United Cities election for April 2018 is underway. Polls close on April 23rd at 1 a.m. GMT. What would have been a 6-way race for president has narrowed down to a 3-way race between the incumbent _Castle and his challengers Burncow and Percat 2010. Burncow announced he was suspending his candidacy and endorsing Castle, however he has since reversed that decision. Mindman initially registered as a candidate but dropped out, and Narnia 17 and PTLD Knight did not register to run after initially expressing interest in doing so. For vice president, it'll be the first 4-way race since July's presidential election, with Mindbender 15, Cookie 46910, Dragonbloom 419, and Ryan FR in the race. Frosty Creeper 10 is challenging incumbent Skelly Zomperman for Attorney General, and _Ezzo, Cal 76, and Cap Lincoln are running for Chief Justice. However, Ezzo said in Discord he would be dropping out of the race. He is still listed as a candidate as of the production of this broadcast. Woorich999 registered to run but then dropped out of the Chief Justice race. GiddyUp, a sister company to MBS News, released its final polling report for polling conducted prior to the start of the election. With more on that poll, HVT 2011 joins us from our Studio 5A. Hello, HVT.
Hello, Kitty. GiddyUp's polling provided to MBS News shows 3 of the 4 races in this election producing decisive victories for the winning candidates. As you see behind me, Castle is winning in the presidential race in the final poll with 80% of the vote, while Burncow's on 16% and Percat 2010 on just 4%. The second choice votes were mostly won by Burncow, who won 84% of those votes, and the third choice votes were won almost entirely by Percat 2010, who won 96% of those votes. Similarly, Skelly Zomperman won 87% in the Attorney General poll against Frosty Creeper 10, who won 13%. For Chief Justice, Cal 76 won 84% of the first choice votes, leaving Ezzo and Cap Lincoln with single-digit support. Most second and third choice votes were for Ezzo and Cap Lincoln, with Ezzo having more second choice votes and Cap Lincoln having more third choice votes. The vice presidential poll is the only one in which failed to show a decisive winner. Ryan FR is the leading candidate with just under a majority at 48% of first choice votes. And even in this case, the second place candidate, Cookie 46910, is behind him by almost 30 points at 20%, while Dragonbloom 419 has 16% and Mindbender 15 has 8% of the votes for first choice. The votes for second, third, and fourth choice are mainly divided amongst Cookie 46910, Dragonbloon 419, and Mindbender 15, although Ryan FR received a significant chunk of the second choice vote. What matters, however, is the second choice votes for the candidate in last place, and 100% of Mindbender 15's vote in Giddy-Up polls chose Ryan FR as their second choice candidate, enough to push him into a majority of 56%. Of course, Giddy-Up's poll is just a prediction of how the election could turn out and is by no means infallible. We'll only really know what happened in the election when the polls close at 1 a.m. GMT on Monday, April 23rd. Giddy-Up is conducting an exit poll during the election, and when the polls close, if the exit polls show a decisive enough victory, Giddy-Up will possibly call some of the races, which MBS News will report. That's the latest on polling. Now back to you, Kitty.
Thanks, HBC. Our colleagues at MRT News Channel hosted 3 debates over the past few days for the races in the United Cities election. The debates were held at the Midtown Theater in New Bakersville, where JPH Golf 4321 joins us with more. Hello, JPH.
Hello, Kitty. Behind me is the New Bakersville Midtown Theater, where MRT News Channel hosted its United Cities election debates for this election season. The first debate was on Friday night, April 13th, for Attorney General, a race between Skelly Zomperman and Frosty Creeper 10, which was moderated by MBS News' KittyCat11231. Skelly Zomperman, the incumbent candidate, framed himself as a candidate with experience, bringing up his experience as Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General, while Frosty Creeper cast himself as a new face for the position, saying that voters should give him a chance as a new candidate. In the debate, the candidates disagreed on several legal matters. For instance, Frosty Creeper indicated that he believed, prior to Amendment 65, that members with the state designation required a councilor town, as it could be assumed that there was a shared rank requirement with the city-state designation, while Skelly Zomperman disagreed, saying it did not state anywhere in the Constitution that a state had to have a councilor town. They also disagreed on a preliminary injunction issued in a case regarding the interpretation of the state and city-state designations, which blocked an amendment from changing these designations, with Frosty Creeper saying he believed the General Assembly could not affect an ongoing case, and Skelly Zomperman saying there was nothing unconstitutional about the General Assembly changing the law during a court case. Each candidate had different interpretations of the scope in which an enforcement citation could be issued for violating MRT rules and the capacity of the United Cities, with Skelly Zomperman holding a broad view that any action related to the United Cities, even including private conversations, could be considered in the capacity of the United Cities, and Frosty Creeper holding a narrow view that rule violations had to occur specifically when doing something as a function of the United Cities, saying that random griefing on United Cities property does not count as in the capacity of the United Cities. And they differed on whether a constitutional amendment could be unconstitutional, with Skelly Zomperman saying an amendment per se is constitutional, as it is an amendment to the Constitution, and therefore supersedes any prior amendment. Frosty Creeper took a contradictory opinion, saying he believed an amendment could not be unconstitutional, but that an amendment proposal could be unconstitutional, having not yet amended the Constitution, a position which he then walked back. The debate was an hour and a half long, so you'll have to watch it on MRT News Channel if you want to see all the arguments made. On Saturday night, the MRT News Channel held the vice presidential debate. Of the 4 vice presidential candidates, only Cookie 46910 and Mindbender 15 were present. Both candidates gave statements that they sought to use the vice presidency as a means to work with the General Assembly and the President to enact policies and would host the first ever meetings of the General Assembly. Mindbender suggested holding a meeting for the sake of having an open floor for the General Assembly, while Cookie said he would only call a meeting if a specific issue warranted it. Cookie defended against claims that he joined the General Assembly just to run for vice president, saying he had not realized he was not a General Assembly member previously. When questioned about his inactivity, Mindbender said that as school will be letting out for the summer, he will be more active, and have more time to be active in the United Cities. Both candidates framed themselves as a means of acting as a voice of the General Assembly, as part of their role as leader of the General Assembly, and working with the President to enact the General Assembly's will. When questioned on why they could not work with the President and the General Assembly as a General Assembly member without being Vice President, they indicated that being Vice President would allow them to more directly communicate with the President and the General Assembly instead of being lost in a sea of voices. You can watch that debate on MRT News Channel as well. MRT News Channel's final debate was for president, and it was less of a debate than a platform for President Castle to speak, considering he was the only candidate to attend, as PERCAT 2010 could not make it at the time, and Bernkow announced at the time of the debate he was suspending his candidacy, the decision he reversed the next day. At the debate, Castle expressed how his long-term experience as president has allowed him to learn how to run the United Cities effectively and work with other people. He floated the idea of creating a new executive committee with the responsibilities of the Public Works Committee due to the committee's lack of effectiveness, assuming he could find the right people to serve on the committee. Castle responded to the criticism that he had not pushed the Roads Committee to complete work later in his term, saying he will be more active as school lets out for the summer, and indicating he expects the next term to be a more active term for his presidency in the United Cities as a whole. He also responded to criticism that the same individuals continue to be officers of the United Cities, saying that this was a result of the United Cities not having enough people who wanted to run for those positions. Talking about his opponent, PERCAT 2010, Castle criticized his proposal to move the United Cities communications from Discord to Minecraft chat, saying he did not see how the logistics of his plan would work, and that he does not know what PERCAT stands for beyond being against Discord, and a vague promise to end drama in the United Cities, suggesting some drama was to be expected in a political organization like the United Cities. You can watch all those debates on MRT News Channel as they were aired live. MRT News Channel was supposed to hold a Chief Justice debate on Sunday, April 15th, but that was canceled as none of the candidates showed up. At this point, we've had weeks of campaigning amongst the candidates looking to take up office in the United Cities, and now we've reached the point where it's time for the voters to decide who will be the next officers of the United Cities. From MBS News in New Bakersville, I'm JPH Golf 4321. Now back to you, Kitty.
Thanks, JPH. And we conclude this broadcast with some of the sporting events and game shows that are coming up in the next few months on the MRT, starting with The Mole 9, which premieres on Saturday, April 21st at 7 p.m. GMT. The Mole is a game show in which several contestants compete over the course of several episodes to complete group challenges to earn money for the final prize, which will ultimately be won by one person. One person, however, is secretly designated as the Mole and is tasked with inconspicuously sabotaging these efforts and removing money from the prize. The non-Mole candidates take a quiz at the end of each episode, which asks questions about the identity of the Mole, and the person with the lowest score is eliminated from the game. Yoshi announced on Friday night, April 13th, that the Mole had been chosen. However, the Mole may not have been necessarily chosen immediately prior to that announcement in order to prevent speculation of the identity of the Mole based on when it was chosen, Yoshi has said. Frumple has indicated he will be streaming the Mole live on Twitch. Taco Burrito-a-thon Commissioner Skelly Zumperman announced on Saturday, April 14th, that all 4 final candidate cities for the 10th Taco Burrito-a-thon have been chosen to host their own Taco Burrito-a-thon event, those cities being Lecne, Laclede, Venceslo, and Segueville. The 10th Taco Burrito-a-thon will be hosted in Laclede in May. The 11th Taco Burrito-a-thon will be hosted in Venceslo in June. The 12th Taco Burrito-a-thon will be hosted in Lecne in late June or early July. And the 13th Taco Burrito-a-thon will be hosted in Segueville in July. Skelly Zumperman announced the 11th Taco Burrito-a-thon in Venceslo will be held in the North American Prime Time to accommodate participants in the Far East time zones. The Taco Burrito-a-thon features multiple sporting events as part of a competition between 2 assembled teams of competitors, Team Taco and Team Bacon, which compete against each other in each event to become the winner of the Taco Burrito-a-thon. The last Taco Burrito-a-thon was held in Bakersville in March. And Lecne Bay is preparing to host the Summer Olympics in late May and early June after beating Whiteley in the final round of the Olympic bidding process. The games begin on May 27th and will be covered by MBS. Registration has opened for players to participate in Olympic events in Lecne Bay, and a Discord server for the Olympics has been created. MBS News will bring you more details on the Olympics as the event approaches. And that's the latest from MBS News. For all the news from MBS News, visit us on the wiki at bit.ly/MBS News and on Twitter at twitter.com/news_MBS. From the MBS News World Headquarters in Central City, I'm Kitty Cat 1231, and have a great day.